Tom Homan's out there going around with Dr. Phil. Hey, you're a rapist. Boom, you're out. Hey, you're a murderer. He says, what's your policy? And then Selena Gomez is crying. Oh my God, I can't believe they're taking my people. And then she takes the video down. It's embarrassing. This the video. If you want to play this clip, Rob, go ahead and play this. Go for it.
I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry.
Lower the audio, Rob. Lower the audio, Rob. This is, please, thank you.
Children. They don't understand.
We don't either.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't.
She's a really good actress.
I was about to say that.
Do.
By the way, do you so you can pause it at this point. Honestly, my skin's hurting. But when you see something like this with acting, with somebody that gets up and cries like the way she does and wants to get the attention, you take it and you're like, Tom Homan specifically said, we're taking the worst out first. That's a statement. Worst out first, right? Okay. And this is going to get to, the Laken Riley Act. I want to ask you because I know what you wrote and I know what you said. And I want to talk about this. I think I want to hear your answer to it. But to me, everything you said, this is what the future Democratic Party, he's doing. So now if he does this for 4 years, and even elitists in Hollywood who see Trump there, these are people that their names, that have a lot of followers, hundreds of millions of followers that I'm talking to. They're happy he's getting shit done, but they can't publicly say anything about it because God forbid. But they know he's going to get stuff done. They know for a fact she's not going to get stuff done, Mayor Bass. They know Newsom's just going to do his hand gestures that Vinny's crushed, and, he does it so well. This is the one that you do. And then that video that goes, no, he starts dancing. That video is my favorite one, right?
Gavin Newsom.
But oh
my God.
Now that you see he's getting that stuff done, what is the one differentiator about the Democratic Party where the populace can say, this is the one thing they're going to do better than they are? Honestly, and I'm asking this purely respectfully, I don't even know what that one thing is.
Let me give you two things.
Please, go for it.
One is getting big money out of politics. I mean, if he comes on the side saying that he wants to overturn Citizens United, that he wants to get rid of PAC money and lobbyist money. And by the way, I don't have a holier-than-thou attitude on this. Kamala Harris had more billionaires supporting her than Donald Trump did. So I'm not saying that, somehow the Democratic Party was holier than the Republican Party. But I think that whoever is going to actually fight to get this big money out of politics, that is going to be something that will resonate with people. We'll see if he does it. And the second thing is on the economy. Look, he's out there saying that he wants to bring manufacturing back. He wants to bring high-paying jobs back. He wants to bring these jobs back to places like Galesburg, Illinois, Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And if he can do it, great. My view is that simply deregulation and tariffs is not going to be enough, that he's going to have investment in scaling these factories in these communities. And that's the difference. But I don't think the Democratic Party should be afraid to say, we want to be the party of reform. We want to be the party of building America. We're the party of innovators. And you know what the great news is? There's no Donald Trump in 2028. I mean, Donald Trump is a unique, phenomenal candidate. And on my side, people who think that he is easily beatable are delusional. He is a very charismatic candidate. And so what we should do is see, well, what about the American people? Why did they respond to him? Okay, they responded to him because of reform. They responded because they like his aspirational vision. We're going to fill in the details in a better way, and we're going to take that to be the party in 26 and 28.
Can I be direct with you?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think you sold it because I don't think you can. Because I think what you just said works against other Democratic opponents that you have. I think you beat other Democratic opponents. I don't know what your aspirations are long term, but that message will resonate with the new Democratic youth and the party. And you'll win and you'll beat them. Like it's kind of being Eastern Conference, Western Conference. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like
100%.
NFC, AFC. And it's great. You may come up and be, hey, we're such and such team. We're coming out of the Western Conference. I don't care if you're Seattle Supersonics. I don't care if you're the Phoenix Suns. I don't care if you're the Houston Rockets. You're not getting past Michael, okay? You're just not. That's just kind of how it works right now. I don't care who you are. You're not getting past Mahomes.
Tell me why.
And because your argument sucked the last 4 years. And you had a chance. And you royally screwed up. the Democratic Party royally screwed up. And remember, when I say Democratic Party and
where do you see our biggest mess up in the last 4 years? I'm not disagreeing with you.
Have
we
kids?
made mistakes. I do have kids.
You have 2 kids. I think you have how many kids? You have 2
Two
kids.
kids.
2 kids. Okay. So I look up to see your story, your family, what you do. Okay. You mean to tell me you agreed with all the stuff that they wanted to teach schools in California? I went to Glendale High School. Do you know what things they were teaching in Glendale with books and stuff to kids? Like, what are you doing? You think that's common sense? It's not. So maybe in the beginning, everybody's like, oh, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just don't be tolerant. Just don't say anything. Hell no. My son came today and said something weird. I'm done. I'm going to the school. And I'm speaking up. Video goes viral, 50 million views, 20 million views, 8 million views. I feel the same way. Okay, that policy was a shit show. You know what? The illegal immigrants, America was built on immigrants. We should let immigrants come here. What's wrong with that? Who's going to do these works? Like, who said that? On The View, the lady said it. And now there's an article right now that came out. Guess what it says? It says, now that these immigrants are going to be going, who's going to do a lot of these jobs? They're no longer even embarrassed to say that, Rob. I don't know what
Who's going
page
to
that's
pick our
on.
crops and pick our nuts
By the
and
way,
all that
they're
stuff?
saying exactly what that lady said on The View, who got criticized. Now they're openly, and can America's economy cope with the mass deportation? You read the story, it's about who's going to do these jobs that everybody else doesn't want to do. Okay, so that policy's gone because the borders, and we saw what happened with Lake and Riley, terrible situation, stories, rapist comes back, sanctuary cities completely got exposed, and people who voted for the left don't want sanctuary cities with these great kids. So that got exposed. Number 3, economy. Hey, Biden and Democrats are for, the low and middle income families. Really, go look up the gas prices, Rob, under each presidential administration. When you look up gas prices under each president, whether you go, that one right there. Look at this. So the red one is Bush, goes up to 330, started at 146, 139. Obama goes up 368. Look at Trump, stays down. Look at Biden, goes up to 406. Did you keep my gas prices to go any lower? No. Okay, so you definitely made oil companies a lot of money. The profits under Biden for oil companies was a lot higher than the profits under Trump for oil companies. All right, so then Obama does a clip of March 18th, 2000. I don't know what the clip is when he's talking about hey, you want to come here, immigration? You know which clip I'm talking about, and you got to come do it this way. And guess what? You got to get back in the line because the people that are in Mexico who did it the right way, they got to get ahead of you. It's not fair for those guys that waited all these years.
Yeah, I shared that clip.
I saw you share that a few days ago. That's common sense, right? But the Democratic Party today is no longer, or in my opinion, I can't see any arguments that's common sense. John F. Kennedy, what he was talking about back then, hey, we're going to lower taxes so your family can make some money. Some of the money goes to you. Oh, what a nice guy. That's what lowering taxes is. Hey, we're going to go out there and get rid of some of these things that we're doing because we want it to be good for you. Hey, we don't want any war. Oh, Democratic Party's against no war. Last 4 years, Hamas, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, and I thought it was the other way around. So this isn't the old Republican war. This is, hey, man, we're going to go this way. It's going to be America first. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party has lost. And by the way, the amount of people you guys, even the Democrats, lost with TikTok, you had TikTok. So if we look at right now what the Democratic Party still owns, think about it, that you have majority control of. Military is getting rid of DEI. Pete Heck said you're seeing him going around doing all the stuff that he's doing. Okay. You guys used to have TikTok because China was using it, the left, brainwash, all that stuff, and then flipped. Charlie Kirk, 5 million followers, 40 million views, 36 million views, 28 million views, 32 million views. Why is that resonating? Because the youth is saying, listen, this makes sense. Okay, your biggest edge that you still have, that you have a monopoly on, and it's not even close, and it's going to be a problem for 80 years, unless if this gets addressed today. You know what it is?
What?
98% of English teachers in public schools, they track their money. 98% of English teachers gave their money to Democratic Party. 97% was of health and guidance and science. 87% of math gave to Democratic Party. Only 13% gave to Republican Party. So the average person sends their kids to public schools for 12 years. They're going to be persuaded, manipulated, brainwashed by the Democratic Party. You have that control. And it's so powerful that you have that. Because parents that can't afford to send their kids to private school and can't afford to do homeschooling because they both got a job, they don't know how to do that. It's tough on them. They have to send them to public school. So you have possibly the most powerful monopoly in America. Possibly the most powerful monopoly in America. And that you have long term. But even that, kids are now having access to social media, to TikTok, to Instagram. They're like, I don't know if I agree with you, teacher. I don't know if I agree with you, teacher. And now people are watching Charlie Kirks. How many other small Charlie Kirks are going to be out there going on campuses? 1, 2, or hundreds, thousands? Who right now watches that business model and saying, that's exactly what I want to do? Debate me, debate me, debate me. I think this is going to be very interesting because sincerely, when I watch what happened on the other side, I think you guys have no argument, even minimum wage. Make the argument for minimum wage, okay? We got to raise the minimum wage. All right, Trump's probably going to sit there and say, yeah, I partially agree. We should do it on the federal level. Now, what he's done, that's what I'm trying to find out. Truly, what is the one thing that the Democratic Party has an edge today where the average person could say, I relate to you guys?
So that's a lot. Let me first say this, that I'm not going to say the Democratic Party is perfect. I'm part of the people calling for reform of the party. Let's start with the cultural issues. I think we have to assure families that they're going to have a say in their kids' education, that it's going to be common sense. And even where I take positions where I may disagree with people. Look, we may have a different view on transgender rights, LGBTQ rights. I don't know your positions. We've got to stop coming off like we're better than people or condescending, or that we can't have a disagreement with people on social and cultural issues and respect that. And that is something that the Democratic Party needs to change. We've got to become a bigger tent party. And I think there's going to be a new generation that does that. On the economy, look, I will defend 2 points of what Biden achieved. He got insulin to $35, and that was a huge win with the drug companies. And he had manufacturing investment increased over compared to Trump. Now, Trump's going to get 4 years of the economy. He's got the House, he's got the Senate, he's got the Supreme Court, and the American people are going to get to see, is he really going to have a manufacturing renaissance in places across America? I wish him luck. Let's see. Is he going to raise the minimum wage? Is he going to do something so health insurance companies aren't denying people for prescription coverage? Is he going to negotiate to bring down the costs of prescription drugs? Is he going to have a solution to childcare? He said he wants to do something. He's going to have 2 years before the midterms to have his record, and 4 years. And if the economy is humming, if he's gotten all this manufacturing back and wages are up and income inequality is coming down, he's going to be hard to beat, or his successor is going to be hard to beat. But if he doesn't deliver that, and I think it's going to be hard for him to deliver that just with tax breaks and tariffs, then there's going to be an opening for the Democrats to say, we've got to raise wages, we've got to make more investments in these communities, we've got to have health insurance not denying your coverage, and have a populist economic message with a respect on some of the cultural issues and an acknowledgement that we've been too judgmental as a party. The final point, California has new leaders coming up. Matt Mahan, San Jose, common sense, public safety. Dan Lurie in San Francisco, common sense, public safety. New district attorneys being elected. I think that we've got a problem when you've got a governance in California that has not been effective on a number of issues. There's no denying that. But these new generation leaders, Rod Salwan and Fremont, are going to help bring California to a place of governance where people are going to say, okay, they heard the voters. They heard the voters.
May I please do a follow-up? I believe that you're going to be able to make a difference in California because I think you're very moderate and reasonable, even though that you're a progressive capitalist. I have questions on that. But to double down on what Pat's asking, and I think I have a little bit of an authority on this, because I've never voted for Trump in my life. I've never voted for a Republican president in my life. My father, you just looked at me like, whoa, what are you talking about? Exactly. So my father was a JFK Democrat. What would JFK be today? You know, my first president that I grew up with, Bill Clinton. I believe you voted for Bill Clinton as well. The Democratic Party, you know, the famous phrase, like, I didn't leave the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party has left me. So, you know, Pat's concern's a little bit different. He has 4 kids. He's a family. He's running a business. I'm a little bit different. Single, You know, I have a nephew. All my best friends have kids. I was hanging out with them this weekend. They're all Democrats, all of them. And they're looking at me like, look at the MAGA guy walk in. I go, if you only knew. So I think you guys, and I don't say this with any joy, you have lost men. Just dudes who just look at the world and they see wokeness and it's just antithetical to common sense. It just doesn't make any sense. This is someone who, how much tooth and nail this guy fought me for 5 years almost. Come on, why don't you come across the line? And I'm an independent, registered independent. It's not like I'm a bleeding heart liberal. I'm a Florida Democrat, which is basically a purple state. So the rise of feminism, the abortion is the number one issue. You think I care about it? Like, you think that's my number one thing? I want to make money and live my life and have the government out of my life, much less. So the COVID mandates, I can go on and on here, but how do you get guys, just dudes, back to the Democratic Party?
I think you're absolutely right, first of all, that we have lost men, young men. I mean, the data shows it anecdotally. I was with a 27-year-old in my district today who said he liked me, he liked Fetterman, he liked Bernie, but he just thought that he couldn't vote for the Democratic Party in the way it was because it's not speaking to a lot of young guys who, by the way, these were college graduates who are struggling to get a job right now and feel like we don't see them. One of the things I said when we had the whole Democratic convention, and I said, if you're a steel worker in Pennsylvania, if you're an auto worker in Michigan in your 40s or 50s, if you're a manufacturer in Ohio, do you see yourself at the DNC? Do you see anyone out there who's really fighting for you? Now, I'll tell you what we can't do and what's not going to do it, having people go and pretend to hunt, having people, go play Madden football, having people be like, here's what just talk about the Eagles, as if men are that dumb. Yeah, fine, you can talk about the Eagles. They don't need you to be fake. What will work? What works for me? I say I represent the wealthiest place in the world. I know how to build wealth for the future. You want to talk about drilling for oil or manifest destiny and try to be Alexander the Great, that's not how you build wealth in the 21st century. You know who knows how to build wealth? Elon knows how to build wealth. Technology leaders want to know how to build wealth. And I want to see the Democratic Party figure out how we're going to have that technology and wealth generation work for you. And if we can become the party that says we understand the future of wealth generation and we're going to give young people, men and women, but men also want to build wealth, the opportunity to do that, that's our best shot of coming back. But if we can't win on the economy and being better for the future of young men, then we're not going to win.
Well, I hope you're right.
It's interesting when you're saying this now, because if we play a clip and go back 6 months ago, your concern was abortion was going to be a big part of the election in 2024. If you remember that.
Yeah, of course.
Because in midterms it was. If you remember when there's red wave. No red wave because 2 weeks prior to that, whatever, Mitch McConnell passed the Roe v. Wade was completely
The
moved
Dobbs.
on. Right.
Okay.
So anyways, interestingly, so going to the next one.
Meaning that's what, just to clarify, that's what I thought the Democratic Party was going to run on.
What I'm saying, by the way, for me, I thought it was going to be a big part of it. First of all, Kamala is the worst candidate in the history of candidates that I've seen to run for office. Josh Shapiro would have been better. Newsom would have been better. Pritzker would have been better. She was horrible, with a capital H. She was horrible of a candidate. Somebody else may have presented that argument better. We'll see. But you're right. We're going to find out the next 2 years. You have it. What are you going to do now? If he does, this could be more than just a 4-year thing that others, J.D. Vance and other superstars, could come behind. The cigar lounge that a lot of you guys have been wanting to be a member of, we have had our manager now there for the last, I think, 90 days or so. The place is looking amazing. We're going to launch it in the month of March, but it's a private cigar lounge. So for those of you that are in South Florida and you want to find out how to become a member, text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. Again, text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. One of our representatives will get a hold of you in the month of February to tell you all about it, but make sure you text the word cigar to 310-340-1132. We're opening up the comedy club, the cigar lounge, the 2 bars. We got the liquor license. We got the whole thing. We'll be opening up here soon. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.